Welcome back. So I'm now going to show you how to create a frequency polygon using Megastat in Excel. Um, so I've reopened my file frequency distributions, and you guys have access to this file, so you can always open it up and follow along if you wish. So this information here, I've got list prices for real estate holdings in BC. So if you watched my histogram video, you know that our data starts in cell A3 and goes to cell A87, and we'll need that to input it into the dialog box in Megastat. So I want to create a frequency polygon. I'm going to go up to my menus here, and I'm going to slide over to where it says data, click on data, and then on the far right, I'm going to see Megastat. Going to click on Megastat. We're dealing with frequency distributions, so click on frequency distributions. And we're using quantitative data, so click on quantitative. That'll bring up our dialog box, and now we can input our cells where the information is, so Megastat knows where to look in the input range. So my first piece of information was in cell A3. Then I'm going to put a colon A87. I'm going to make sure I'm on equal width intervals because we want our class widths to all be the same, so have the same width. And then we can either leave our interval width blank and our lower boundary blank if we don't know how many classes we want and how wide we want the classes. If we leave it blank, Megastat will create it for us, and then we can adjust it. Remember your 2 to the k rule for number of classes. So in this, because we have 85 pieces of data, 2 to the k says we should have 7 classes. We can be plus or minus 1 from that. I'm going to use interval widths of 250,000 and a lower boundary of 0. And then I come over here. I don't want a histogram, and that's already checked off by default. So just unclick that. And you're going to put the check mark on Polygon, so it creates a frequency polygon instead. And now we're just going to go, we're going to click OK, and it'll create it for us. A nice frequency distribution, or a frequency polygon there. We can see it's anchored the ends right to the x-axis, so it's totally enclosed our frequency polygon. Keep in mind, it does the frequency polygon by percent and not frequency. I find that is perfectly okay for frequency polygons. My histograms, I normally use straight frequencies, but frequency polygons, I'll use percentage, and cumulative frequency polygons, or OGIVs, I also use percentage. So I'm going to leave that as is. If you do want to edit it, just click on the frequency polygon and it'll bring up some boxes here. You've got chart elements, chart style, and chart filters. For my chart elements, I just like to make sure I've got my axis titles, and my chart titles all selected. If you want more, you can put more. For example, data labels, that'll actually put the percentages at each point. If we really wanted to, we could put in grid lines so it's easier for us to read. We could do a legend, but there's really no point on this, and we don't need trend lines. So I'm just going to leave it as is with axis titles, and chart titles. And perfect. Now I can go down. If I wanted to, I can change the style of it. Good news is when I change the style of a frequency polygon, it will keep it as a proper frequency polygon. So everything is still anchored here. And then if we want, we can go and we can edit the title. That's going to be real estate listings in BC. And then if we want, we can edit our titles as well. But that's how you do frequency Polygon using Megastat. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to send me an email and I'll help you out. Take care.